What's up, y'all? My name is JR, and for those of you who don't already know, I'm a huge movie and TV nerd. If you're new here, I appreciate you taking the time to check out my channel. I hope you consider sticking around and joining the film community I'm trying to build here on YouTube. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the FX original series, The Bear, and why not only did I think the show deserved its Emmy wins from this year's Emmy Awards, but how the show was specifically designed to win those Emmys. And just so we're clear, this video will contain some mild spoilers, so if you haven't seen the show yet, and you don't want to know anything that happens in it, you might want to exit this video now. And with that being said, no more wasting time, let's get into it. The Bear is an American comedy drama television show created by Christopher Storer about a young chef, Carmine Berzato, who inherits his family's Italian beef sandwich shop after the suicide of his older brother. So he comes home to Chicago in order to run it, leaving behind his job at a Michelin star restaurant. After taking over the restaurant, he's left to deal with his brother's unresolved debts, a rundown kitchen, and an unruly staff while dealing with his own pain and family trauma. Now, the show stars Jeremy Allen White, and the show's supporting cast includes Ebon Moss-Bachrach, Ayo Adebiri, Lionel Boyce, Liza Colon-Zayas, Abby Elliott, Maddie Matheson, and Oliver Platt. Now, the first season of The Bear premiered on Hulu on June 23rd of 2022. In July of 2022, The Bear was renewed for a 10-episode second season, which was released on June 22nd of 2023. And in November of 2023, the series was renewed for a third season. Now, the series has received widespread critical acclaim, particularly for its writing, directing, acting, and its production value, as well as its examination of the subject matter. The first season received 10 Primetime Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Comedy Series and Acting wins for White, Moss-Bachrach, and Adebiri. The Bear has also won 4 Golden Globe Awards, with acting wins for White and Adebiri, and the Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series, Musical, or Comedy in 2024. And at the time of the making of this video, the series does not have a critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which was kind of weird, but okay. Now, it does have an impressive audience score of 93%. It has an equally impressive Metascore of 91 on Metacritic, and that's based on 66 critic reviews, with a slightly lower user score of 7.9, and that's based on 281 user ratings. And finally, it has a more than respectable 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and that's based on almost 200,000 reviews. So, just a few days ago, for those who don't know, January 15th to be exact, approximately 4 months after they were originally scheduled because of the writers and the actors strike, the 75th annual Emmy Awards took place. And there are some people online who are apparently big mad that the FX original series, The Bear, basically ran away with the awards for the comedy category, to the point where I've even seen people online saying that the show isn't even a comedy, stating that it's not funny. So let me start off my thoughts by explaining what the prevailing difference is between a comedy and a drama is as it pertains to categorization, for those of you who don't know. When it comes to awards, and basically the industry categorizing television shows, the rule is that if a television show has a runtime of 30 minutes or less on average, that show is considered to be a comedy. Whether it's full of jokes or not, whether there's a laugh track or not, whether you find it funny or not. Now, if a television show has a runtime of, say, around 40 minutes or more, give or take, that television show is considered a drama, even if it's not funny. Now, or even if it is funny, excuse me. Now, there's a bit of a gray area in between these two content lengths. I'd say between 30 and 40 minutes or so, where a show can kind of go either way. But for the most part, that's how this whole thing works. So now that we've got that out the way, what makes The Bear so good? Well, after having sat and watched the first 2 seasons of the show a few days ago, I think it's really quite simple. Confrontation and conversations. The first season of the show takes place almost entirely in the restaurant as Carmy attempts to revamp the beef into his vision of what a restaurant should be. And because of that, all of the distractions kind of melt away. And what you have left is, simply put, actors acting. The writing in this series is so incredibly good, especially the dialogue. So many times I see writers write dialogue with one objective in mind, and that's to arrive late and to leave early. That has become a mantra for many, 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 many screenwriters. The average scene in a film or television show lasts 1 to 3 minutes. And don't get me wrong, I understand exactly why that is. It mostly helps with pacing. But I also think that a lot of screenwriters, in an effort to live and die by that rule, end up writing too much of what I like to call multi-purpose dialogue, right? Or that's dialogue that's meant to give too much information all at once. And the result of that kind of dialogue is dialogue and conversations that are not indicative of how actual human beings speak to each other. The Bear is one of the few exceptions to that. The dialogue in this show is so good, you almost have to stop and ask yourself how much of the script might be improvised. But the answer to that question is not much, with the exception of, apparently, a single moment mentioned in an interview by Jon Bernthal, who plays Carmy's older brother Mikey in flashbacks, where he explained that the table flip during the fight he had with Bob Odenkirk, who plays Uncle Lee in episode 6 of season 2 entitled Fishes, was indeed unscripted. And so I thought about that, and I came to the conclusion that, that means that the infamous 7th episode in season 1, the one where Richie gets stabbed by Sydney in the hind parts of all places, the one that was shot all in one take, was totally scripted, making the feat that much more impressive. It speaks directly to the strength of the cast, and The Bear has a monster of a cast, especially the guest stars. In this show, we get, of course, Jon Bernthal, the great Bob Odenkirk, Olivia Colman, Will Poulter, Sarah Paulson, Adam Shapiro, Sarah Ramos, Molly Gordon, and Jamie Lee Curtis, just to name a few. And, as I'm watching all these people appear on screen, I found myself wondering how they could even afford some of the names on this list. But there they were, live in living color. And then there was the 7-minute monologue by Jeremy Allen White in the season 1 finale that absolutely sealed it for me. In fact, when it was done, I literally stopped the show and I said to myself, that right there is why they won the Emmys. White is, plainly put, one hell of a performer. And I've had the pleasure of watching him grow immensely as an actor since the first season of Shameless. Now, in this show, he does an amazing job playing Carmy. And his performance in this series makes me excited for what we may be able to see from him moving forward. Now, I have to admit, I scrolled past The Bear on Hulu for more than a year, telling myself that I'd eventually get around to watching it at some point. And after finally having done so, I can say with all honesty that it's one of the best shows on television right now, hands down. And the show was written, produced, and directed specifically with awards in mind, in my opinion. Now, I say all of that to say that the 10 Emmys, the 4 Golden Globes, and the numerous other awards that the show has collected over the past few weeks for Best Comedy Series are not only apropos, but they're also more than well deserved. But what do you guys think? Have you seen The Bear yet? If you have, do you think the show lives up to all the hype? Or do you think the show has been overpraised throughout award season this year? Let me know in the comments. And for those of you who might be new to the channel, be sure to like and share this video. If you really like the content, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. Also, be sure to go and check out themaskscreenwriter.com for more television and film reviews and info on my upcoming film projects. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I got screenplays to write, and I'll catch you all in the next video.